Hey, how are you? I'm Jared Yellen, and I'm the founder of Brandentity. I first want to start by defining the word Brandentity so that you can understand exactly what I'm trying to accomplish with this vision of mine. So Brandentity has two components to it. The first being a brand, which is what you stand for. The other component being your identity, or who you are. And then when you combine these words together, what you develop is a brand entity. Or in other words, what makes you, you. So what's the intent of this video? Brandentity is a blog, it's a website. It's going to be launched on October 9th, and I'm looking forward to this beyond your imagination, because this has been in the works for quite some time now. And what I'm going to have on this site is various resources for people to subscribe to, one of which is going to be the Brandentified interview. And in the Brandentified interview, I'm going to be talking to people like yourself on a conference call, which I'll then convert to MP3. And I want to learn about a time in your life when someone other than yourself owned your identity. That could be a bad marriage, maybe a career, maybe your finances, or spiritually or emotionally, or with regards to your physical appearance. Whatever it was in your world where you felt inadequate, empty, frustrated, lost, and didn't have the desire to live, I want to hear about that time. But ultimately what I want to learn is what enabled you to pull yourself out of that place. What enabled you to reclaim your life and establish your identity? What enabled you to live the life that you create for yourself, as opposed to the life that someone or something has created for you to live? That's what I want to hear in this interview. Because I have a vision. And my vision is to literally have millions of subscribers to the Brandentity site, and ultimately that they join the identity revolution. And when they subscribe and they listen to your interview, I can already see them light up and realize that this is what they were looking for. You have become their beacon of hope in an extremely convoluted world, because they're able to relate with where you were, but ultimately envision themselves with where you are today. They're going to learn about that adventure. They're going to learn about the quest. They're going to learn about the challenges that you faced and ultimately the successes you achieved. And that's the purpose of these interviews. So what's in it for you? The first thing that's in it for you is that you're part of a grassroots movement for Brandentity. This is just getting going. And a few years from now, when the empire is developed, and trust me it will be, because I won't stop until that happens, you'll know that you played your part. You contributed. In addition to that, I will go above and beyond to help you. If you have a blog and you need someone to write an article for article submission, I'd be more than happy. If you want a backlink or whatever you want to do, also, I'd be more than willing to do that. I will do interviews for you, videos, so whatever you're looking for, I'm more than willing to pay you back. But really, what you get is the act of contribution. It's the power associated with it. Knowing that you got your story out there to the masses. And the best part is, but you don't know how many people were impacted. You could have helped millions of people, or a few. Realize what life is all about. Realize what it takes to live their own life, as opposed to a life that someone else is telling them to live. You will be part of that movement. You will be part of that change. And in my mind, there's nothing better than that. So if you resonate with what I'm looking to do, if you feel like you have a story that you can share, I encourage you to write me an email to the email address below. And what I'll do is I'll respond. I want to learn a little bit about you in this email. Tell me about your story. And we'll set up a time to talk and eventually schedule an interview. Because really my goal is to enable you to share your story and acknowledge yourself. Because once you share what you've accomplished in potentially a short period of time or a long period of time, it enables you to acknowledge what you've done. And many people live a life with no acknowledgement. They don't take the time to do that for themselves. And this will be your 30 minutes. Your 30 minutes to quote unquote brag about who you are as a person. So with this being said, I look forward to hearing from you. I thank you for listening to this video, and ultimately, let's get ready to start a revolution.